Hey old friends and new, welcome. I'm May, and this channel is all about my floating life story as a solo boater. I've been on the water now for 3 years, and it's time to let go of this beautiful home as life gently takes me down a new path. But don't worry, I'm getting another boat. Of course, I can't do things conventionally, so I'm giving away this boat on Christmas Eve to some lucky winner. Have you entered the raffle yet? Tickets are only $5. This week on the channel is very exciting as the dreams of buying a new home come tantalizingly close. Is it possible I've already found my forever boat? Keep watching to find out. And if you want to be part of the next steps, don't forget to subscribe. Good morning. I have been walking along these canals in this area now for about a month, back and forth, going on bike rides. Every time I go out, I have been seeing this boat. And I peered in the window, having a little look quite a few times, like a nosy girl I am, noticing that inside it's done up really well, but there's nothing in there. It's just a floorboard, some cladding, some electrics, some plumbing pipes, and a few partitions, and that's it. After peering in, I think nothing of it, and I carry on about my day, about my life. But this boat keeps showing up everywhere I go, just following me like a little cheeky little elf. Just every time I look around the corner, it's there. And I have been thinking in my head each time, like, what's going on with this boat? Really curious, hoping that it's for sale. And then one morning I wake up, take Shanti out for a walk. We're going on our morning walk, and the owners are there. Paul and his mum, they're there. And first thing I say is, oh my gosh, hello, I'm May. Please tell me what is going on with this boat. Are you selling it? Who are you? Tell me your life story. And yeah, the story is Paul bought the boat during or just before lockdown with his wife. They always dreamed of having a boat, living around this area, always seeing beautiful boats everywhere. So they start making their dream a reality. And then all through COVID, Paul is building this boat. He gets a shell, he starts doing the work, and then they get pregnant. And they now have a 2-year-old daughter, and Paul's wife, according to Paul, I have not met Paul's wife yet, but according to Paul, his wife is no longer really that interested in the boat because, of course, they've got a completely new life trajectory now that they've got a baby and a little one. So yeah, the boat is up for sale, and I have the key. She's not mine yet, but Paul is so lovely. We've been messaging back and forth. He seems like such a genuinely lovely person and very trusting to give me this key to go and have a look at this amazing boat with you now and show you around. And talk about fortuitous, talk about synchronicity, I don't know. But she's right behind me right now. This wasn't planned, this literally just happened. I'm moored up 2 days later. She moves a lot. Well, she's not very heavy, she hasn't got any stuff in her. One of the first things I do is get a proper safety lock system here. Oh, it smells so new. A brief tour This is the entrance with all the electrics and things, which I'll go through in a minute. And then Paul's designed it so this area would be the galley, which would then lead into the kitchen. It's got a lovely hatch here, which is nice. And then as you sort of, on the other side, there would be probably the worktops for the kitchen and stuff. So I think that works quite nice for ventilation. And here is the bathroom. Shower, toilet, sink. You've got frosted window, all double glazing in here, and really good quality glass, I believe. The frosting window that comes out and you can swap it over, so you can got the frosted one on the side of the towpath and the non-frosted one on that side. Although I probably would make something to go as like a bit of privacy to go in the porthole, but I like the portholes, they're so pretty. And then this is the bedroom, which is at the bow, the front, which is different, the opposite way around for me in my current boat. You've got these beautiful windows that open up onto the bow, and then under here you've got a water tank, and yeah, 2 big windows, so lots of light. It's beautiful. If this were my boat, my thoughts are that the first thing I would do is put a bed in here. It's got central heating, which means I can move onto it in the winter without freezing to death, which is fantastic. So when the raffle happens and I give my boat away to somebody for Christmas, I can move onto this straight away. And the first thing I would do is build a bed. However, I want to build a bed widthways rather than lengthways. So I'm going to lie down and see if I can actually do that. Okay, yes, it is doable. It's definitely doable. Oh, it's quite nice down here. I don't know if you've seen Ben and Emily's van, but I'm inspired by their bed, the way that they pull their bed out. So it would be like a slotted system where you'd have the slats of the bed, say, coming out to 3/4 of the way, widthways here. And then the other slatted bit would be pushed up and slided into the frame of the bed, which means that there's a thoroughfare that goes down the side of the boat, so that if I want to access the front when I'm not sleeping, I can. And as soon as I want to go to bed and do all of that, I just pull it out, and I'd have to get a special mattress made and all that stuff. So that probably would be one of my first things I do, so that I can sleep comfortably, because for me sleep is the big thing. I can't do anything without good sleep. The next thing I would do would be spider removal. Oh, chocolate caramel. So, another thing is I want the bed to be quite high, like hip height, because then there's lots of storage underneath. Ooh, to make a slatted flip up bed, ooh, that could be quite interesting, if that's possible in design. Small bedside table kind of thing on one side. And then build in like a sort of standing wardrobe, and then some kind of other type of clothes storage thing. Another thing that's really exciting is that George is super up for helping me and supporting me in building and also being on this boat. So we don't live together at the moment, and we don't really have any intentions to do so anytime soon. But I think with this new boat adventure, he's going to be a big part of that. And I can imagine, and I foresee, and I hope that the future has more of him in it. So this is going to probably be our boat in terms of the energy, time spent together on it, which is really cool. So that's something to consider as well, like future-proofing, I suppose, this boat, like for two. Yeah, we'll see. So interesting being in the space, like I'm really starting to visualize it. So probably we'll have to do some moving of things. Maybe moving the radiator to be further up, potentially. But that wouldn't be too difficult to do because those slats are already grooved. We could just move it along. I'm kind of thinking about potentially having space for another room. A tiny little room for a tiny little person, maybe. It's good to think about these things. And maybe design the boat currently as it is with the possibility of dividing up some space. I can't believe I just said that. I absolutely love my Arga. Oh, I might have to give that up. I might have to give that whole thing up because, yeah, just looking at it now, I'm not sure where it would go. When I first came onto the boat, I kind of thought that the partitionings and everything would have to change because of maybe just like space and stuff. And I kind of imagined there to be a stove that would be kind of this side, so that yes, there's going to need to be a little bit of a partition, but we can then take the heat down the boat into the bedroom, but there's central heating, which means I don't need to do that. And I know that it's safer to have central heating over fumes in general as well. But then there's like the other side of things, because diesel is not a renewable or sustainable source, whereas neither is coal, but at least there are things that you can put in your stove in the future. Like, people are not going to stop having fires. That's not going to happen, is it? It's also good to have a backup heating system if the Webasto were to just kind of go kaput and there was no hot water. So yeah, stove is definitely something I want to do. And the idea of having it in the middle of the boat is also a really essential thing for me. Have two like fans going both ways. In terms of all the electrics, gadgets and things, it's got a galvanic isolator. So this boat is really well equipped for being in a marina. It's got an input port as well, which is currently the only way to actually get to 30 volts. Currently there is no inverter for going off-grid, which is something that I would require. And I would need an electrician to come in and install that for me, because that's like a little bit out of my comfort zone, doing that properly and doing that safely. Yeah, it has all the fuses in place, it has the solar in place as well, all the wires are on the roof, there's just no panels, so it just required getting some panels, and then that will be charging the batteries. It's currently got 3 leisure batteries and 1 starter battery they're just the still standard rate ones. I don't believe they're lithium. I need to check in with Paul on that one. It might be. It's waning again. What else? Oh yeah, central heating stuff. Galvanizer. We've got a diesel heater, calorifier, yeah, one of those, to heat the hot water from the engine. So here's the engine, Beta Marine engine. It's a B38, 38 bhp. Don't really know what that means. Here are the batteries. Battery setup. And what's that at the back there? That's the weed hatch, of course. Then you've got your bilge pump down there in the back corner. And here is the calorifier. And here is the system for the hot water. Not seen this before. Webasto, it's not something that is on my radar at all. I've never used one. One of the first things I would do as well is for sure get a crash cover, because there is water in the engine room at the moment, and that's because of the rain. So that's something that I would see to straight away. I think I need to figure out more details on the engine and understand it a little bit more. We haven't really talked about that, Paul and I. But it's tidy, you know? It's like, it's tidy and clean and, yeah, in good condition. The boat was built 4.5 years ago, so it's new. And it had been in a marina, hopefully with the Galvic isolator, for a year and a bit. And then it spent most of its time just kind of hopping around in different places. It's been out on like a month-ish journey with their family once for a summer get out and have fun adventure, and literally that's it. So she's barely got any hours on the engine at all. The cons here are that I haven't seen the insulation, and the insulation was a big thing for me in terms of making sure that I get a really well insulated boat. Yeah, and I don't know, I know that it's spray foamed, but I'm wondering whether, like, there seems to be a lot of gaps behind the woodwork. Masses of space here, like dead space, which, like, that's like a whole, there's like that many inches of dead space behind this. So, you know, if I were fitting out this boat, I would make sure that doesn't happen, because there is air here, which means condensation, which means a buildup of mold and all that stuff. So that's, you know, that's a big thing for me, and massively not wanting that to be a thing. I understand why Paul has done that like that, and it's because of the type of wood he's used. And it's like already cut to size, you know, and you just kind of build around it. Oh, I could take everything off, oh my God, imagine, and reinstall all the, and I could put in like more insulation, basically, make it thicker. That's part of the scary thing with all this, is like, I really don't know what I'm doing. Alright, I've been stood in here twiddling my thumbs for a while. I think I would make the bedroom bit a little bit bigger, pull it in. To make the bathroom just slightly smaller, have quite a small shower in this corner, right in the corner. And, I don't know, maybe even like do something to the cladding here so that the shower gets pushed right back into the corner. I don't know, just a thought. To split this partition to make it just half the size. So like my current boat, there's like a thoroughfare that goes all the way down the center, which I really like and makes it feel really spacious. And then that would mean that there wouldn't be this corner thing here by the kitchen, this corner like kitchen thingy, because also that space in the corner always becomes dead space, and then you put all your stuff that you don't use back there, and what's the point? So for this kitchen area to be similar to what mine is, which is just like one long line here, and then on the other side to have probably here a stove that would also be next to the window, and have a flume coming up here, which is quite central. And then you've got loads of, then this will be really open and it will really heat up this area. Probably get rid of this partition as well, so it would heat up this area. Yeah, so it'd be really open. And then this would also shift down a little bit to make this space just a little bit smaller. Pro, I can move straight into it. I can put all my stuff in here and I can start building it bit by bit. I know that would be an absolute hellhole in the end of the day, because I've got to have tools everywhere, I have shit everywhere, it'd be a mess, but I could start. Whereas if I got a shell with nothing in it and I ripped it all out, if I've got an older boat and I ripped it all out from the beginning, and it would take a lot longer. It would take a year at least to get to this stage, at least, probably longer than that. And that means a year of being without somewhere to live, and the complications of like working alongside that and everything. Yeah, it would be a lot. It would be a lot. Not impossible. I have got options for that. But I think that's why this is so attractive, because it just feels like it's a clean slate done very, very well. So I just have to think, what do I want more? To have it completely my way, probably make loads of mistakes. Oops. Or take on something like this. What it all comes down to now is money. And yeah, whether this is going to be within my budget, which I'm hoping it should be. I've done a lot of saving over the past couple of years, and with all in mind, putting pennies away for boat number 2 and for being able to take on a project like this. So if the boat raffle, change language made, when the boat raffle comes into play and it all happens and that all works out, I will be able to buy this boat. And then I'll be using my savings to do it up. And that would be absolutely, phenomenally, incredibly amazing. And I really, really see, this just feels like such a good boat. It feels like it's in a position where I can just make a few tweaks and a few changes to the layout, and then it's ready to go. It's ready for me to put all of my love and take on the project from Paul, who's put all of his love into it, and he's done a really good job, and he's chosen really good materials, and he's put a lot of time and effort and vision into it. And for me to now take that responsibility and do the same. And yeah, this I'm intending for this boat, depending on how life goes, because who knows what will happen, but to be the boat for the next 20 years, or more. So yeah, I want to make sure that I really make the right decision here and pick the boat that's right for me and not rush into anything. But it just feels so right. What do you think, ladies and gents? She's a beauty, isn't she? I've taken some measurements so I can map out any changes that I have in my head. I've also been looking at different insulation ideas that doesn't involve taking off all the cladding. Let's see how things go. I just have to trust everything will work out exactly as it's meant to. Thank you so much for your support and for coming along on this journey with me. I'll be reading out thank yous next time, but for now, I want to make space for a few announcements and show my support to other boaters. Please search for Narrowboat Spudley and watch this video, Keeping Heads Above Water. They are raising money to support veterans that live afloat. So all the money raised watching this video from ad revenue will go towards that charity. So please watch it, share, like, comment, and help the YouTube algorithm push this specific video in aid of charity.
Hi there, I'm James, and this is my lovely 43-foot narrowboat home Slow Patrol. I've lived on her for 4 years after having built her, and much like May, I am raffling her off, so maybe one of you lucky people can win her this Wednesday. I now own that boat, and I need the funds to basically make that boat a home just like this is. Come on, let me show you around. This is a reverse layout, so the galley kitchen is at the back and it's fully loaded. It's got a fridge, freezer, gas hobs, gas oven, and loads of storage. This is a really simple narrowboat for anyone to live on, with solar panels producing all the power. The air-cooled lister has literally no maintenance required at all, and there's plenty of room. This lounge doubles up as a double berth as well. And with the multi-fuel stove on board, it is really toasty in here. And through this door leads to the bathroom, which again is fully loaded with shower, composting toilets, wash hand basin, and some storage. Hot water comes from a Cointra gas-fired boiler in the galley kitchen, and through here, just after the wardrobe, is the master cabin, which doubles up as quite a large 6 foot by 6 foot bed. So it's pretty comfy in here, loads of storage underneath, and that is my narrowboat home. And she could be your narrowboat home for only £5, whether you choose to live on her like I do, or rent her out or sell, whatever you want to do, she's yours this Wednesday. The link to the raffle is in the description of this video. Thank you so much, May, for putting this on. Thank you to everyone who buys a ticket, and best of luck.
That's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.